Across the various transportation manufacturers stood one above the rest. Throughout their lengthy history of over 100 years, Bud has earned a reputation for building unbreakable, durable designs. That's an acronym for Bud. Today, I want to see what the Bud Company brought to New York transportation. So to start with this retrospective, let's take a look at the legendary R32 subway cars. The R32 subway cars have had an epic life with over 60 years of service and are very popular among rail fans and train operators alike. Let's start with the design. The R32 has a stainless steel body, giving the cars the nickname Brightliners. 600 of these cars were built from 1964 to 1965. The coolest thing about the R32 is its longevity. The R32 subway cars were first put in service in 1964 and weren't retired until 2022. To put in perspective how long that is, the subway cars were in service before the creation of the home computer and around to see the rise of virtual reality. The cars have also outlived newer cars such as the R38, a 40, a 42, and a 44. The R32 were meant to retire, and most were retired by the late 2000s, but due to critical issues found with the R44, the R44 were retired instead. By then, over of the fleet were retired and the rest were on the A, C, J, and Z trains where they would stay until their retirement. Bud's durable design saved the MTA, as had the R44 and R32 both retired, things would have gotten messy, to say the least. However, death soon came knocking on the car's door. The R160S replaced most of the R32S that were retired in the late 2000s, but the remaining cars were replaced by the R179 cars. More cars would be retired until the last R32 train set ran on the C train on March 26, 2020, leaving the cars to go down in history as one of the longest-lasting subway cars in NYC history. That was until issues were found in the R179, bringing the R32S out of retirement in June until being retired for good in October 2020. In December 2021, retirement runs on the R32 cars began, leading to the last run on the Q train on January 9, 2022, ending 58 years of outstanding service. However, that wasn't all that Bud made. We have 4 more cars, starting with the Bud M1 M3. The Bud M1 M3 are a series of electric multiple units EMU for short that run on the Long Island Railroad and Metro North Railroad. The M1 was built in 1968 for the LER and was known as the Metropolitans. The M1A was the Metro North equivalent. Both were retired by 2009. The M3 and M3A were similar to the M1A and were built in the mid-80s. These cars are still running today and have a similar look to the F40 for subway car. Bud cars have a history of great longevity. The M2 was an EMU that ran on the New Haven line on Metro North. The cars were built from 1973 to 1976 and were retired by 2012 and were replaced by the M8 EMU. The cars are identical to the newer M4 and M6 cars, but those were not built by Bud. The cars had a stainless steel body, which is classic Bud engineering, and overall had a lengthy life with Metro North. These cars were known as Cosmopolitans, and that name is very similar to the M1 car's Metropolitans. Now the last 2 cars in this retrospective are both very experimental, the first being the Bud SPV2000. The Bud SPV2000, as Wikipedia puts it, was a self-propelled diesel multiple-unit railcar built by the Bud Company between 1978 and 1981 for use on North American commuter railroads. These cars were the successor to the RDC, an iconic Bud railcar, and had the body based on the Amfleet railcar. 45 were built, but 14 were just empty shells. The cars had a top speed of 120 miles per hour, but I doubt it ever went that fast during service. The MTA brought 10 of these for use on Metro North's Hudson Line and started running in 1981, and by 1982 the cars were known to be defective. It is not known what happened to the Metro North Bud SPV2000 post-retirement, other than one is preserved at the Connecticut Eastern Railroad Museum in Willimantic, Connecticut. The final Bud railcar is the R1130 for subway car. I already did a video on this, which I will link down in the description. The cars were built in 1949 and were built to be a new tech train prototype. They had the stainless steel build. The Bud is known for, and 10 cars were built costing $10,000 each, giving the name $1 Million Train. The cars entered service in 1949, and in 1965 the cars were overhauled in 1964 and given the name of A34. These cars were the first stainless steel subway cars built, and the A32 was the first bulk order of stainless cars. So I guess you can say that the A11 walked so the A32 could run. The A11 cars were retired in 1977. One car, car 8013, was preserved and is a part of the New York Transit Museum. With that comes the end of my retrospective of Bud's legacy with the MTA. It takes a good company to build equipment that lasts longer than the actual company. Bud has made various iconic railcars throughout history, and their longevity is second to none. Well, when it comes to subway cars, Bud's history is ongoing as the M3 cars are still running.